Did you quit Pokemon Pocket? Asking the real questions. Thanks for the 76 months worth. Welcome back. I need to buy that one. I have a week though. It's fine. Raid the king. Why are so many decks in the Pocket Meta Roundup running one copy of Fossil? Because they're dumb and bad. One of the things you gotta understand is that just because a deck list has a one-off performance at a tournament and it gets highlighted in that meta video doesn't mean its choices are optimal. The basic game theory is that it's a basic that you can't Pokeball for, that you can switch up to when they Sabrina you, but generally speaking, it's worse than just playing more basics. Do you see the news? I did not. Do you have a link, Johnny? Morning, Ed. Team. Valve's unveiled a new policy about Season Passes on Steam, which aims to ensure developers release all individual DLC on time and share adequate details in advance. It specifies that developers can delay release of Season Pass DLC just once by no longer than 3 months. By offering a Season Pass, you're promising future content. How does this impact? This doesn't sound like an impact Snap at all. It sounds like it's talking about people who are delayed. That doesn't sound like it's likely to impact Snap at all. unless you have a pointed quote, I'm not going to sit there and read that whole thing. Literally doesn't. Okay, cool. Not my dance! I pinged you in the subs Discord server. Can you export me your Thanos deck? I'm starting with an Annihilus deck, but I would like to do your Thanos deck second. Solid 1, 2, 3 disruptive curve here. Hey, Vessel, the Monopoly promo actually ends later today, so yeah, you cleared it. Thanks for the grind. A lovely pixie lady. I think I want to draw with Mobius. I don't think I expect their deck to have things that Mobius cares about. It's a little sad I'm going to lose my odd reveals in Clintar, though. snapped us yet. Let's see what we can get with the symbiote here. That's fine, we'd,
Escaped.
Need to run an ad on Twitch here anyways, so. Let's go ahead and do that real quick, and we'll pretend that our first game here is in a second. Thanks for hanging out, don't go anywhere. You said if you had a nihilist here. A nihilist only sends negative power things over, so no, that wouldn't have been relevant. Feel burned out when starting up the client. Not really, if I'm being honest. I think Marvel Snap's current gameplay is relatively reasonable. There's Annihilus and Psi-inducing tech cards, but I think there's more good than bad in the actual games that I'm playing. If I'm being completely honest, reading YouTube comments about Marvel Snap makes me feel more burned out about the game than actually playing it, which is more to the point that you should probably not use social media around the games that you play because they're inherent negativity pits. They're gonna make you big, big sad. I don't know. Maybe I'm having some kind of new issue then, Mr. Milky. New Series 4-5 tier list for Marvel Snap. Up there. A complete list of DLC, of all DLC included in the past, including a description of the content for each DLC, expected release date. No, Johnny, that doesn't sound like an Impact Snap at all. Yeah, there was a big gap in the last night or two. This night are structured basically the same. I don't think I feel burned out at all really actually playing Marvel Snap, but I feel a little bit burned out listening to people complain about Marvel Snap. I think Marvel Snap's current gameplay is pretty reasonable and fine. I think there's a lot of negativity from people who are burned out, who instead of taking a break, they're complaining about it. And to their defense / credit, a lot of them complaining about it is Marvel Snap's fault, because Marvel Snap is structured in a way that you can't really take a break. So. Snap discourse meta is very stale and needs a balanced patch up for sure. I think I'm feeling spicy over here, gamers. I've taken a break, and at this point, it might just be permanent. It's very common that once you take a break, it's permanent in games like this. It's one of the reasons why Snap systems are designed so you stay once you're in. It's because by and large, people don't come back when they take breaks in games. Yeah, unfortunately, I can't win every path here, right? So you have to leave. It's gonna be a big boy, Chip. But it also retreated. Could have stayed. I only needed 4 points in 2 lanes, so I probably could have stayed on the fact that they're leaving, but. I think saying Airship lets you play with cards you don't have is like, it's true, but the idea that like it meaningfully lets you sample things isn't remotely true in the way things play out on average in Airship. Airship, you're just shoveling through a bunch of crap and hoping to cheese people with your tech cards for the most part. Is he getting hit by that? Is big sad? Or ASAP. Why don't I play the diner? Because I play games for fun, and the diner is not fun. I got Kigatiri. There's no reason for me to slam my head into the diner. Also, when I'm trying to make games for content, i.e. recording things that I can post on YouTube after the fact, or just even see how Dex plays, the diner is atrocious for getting the feel for how a deck works. Because in the diner, it's optimal for someone to be retreating by turn 4 most of the time. So like when I'm testing a new deck like this, the diner is worthless for trying to see if the deck is good or not, because my games aren't going to play out, so I don't know how my deck's actually going to line up into stuff. They're a Scar deck, so I think I actually want a Mobius this turn. How's Gore? Gore is very big. He says as he draws a 3/7. Couldn't script that one better. Holy. I think because of the Mobius, I can cope stay here. Oh, for fuck's sake. Woo! Marvel Snap! Let's go. Piece of candy. Please give me priority. Please give me priority. Please give me priority. It's a 50-50. We both have the same stats. God bless America. That's so frustrating. Probably win the game on the spot with that. Never a coin flip in my Marvel Snap, video gamers. Never before has a coin ever been flipped on your screen here. Oh, they didn't have it. We'll get wrecked then. My poor baby Gore. Scott disappeared. That's true. If we'd have won the coin flip priority, Gore would have lived there. Is accurate. So we still lost the flip, just not in the way we thought we were losing it. Probably still winning this game? Question mark. Self, thank you for the 13 months. I appreciate it. Welcome back. This will make their null atrocious, which is nice. Makes their death cheaper, though, is noteworthy. I have a pair of pants from into the hand that are solid. I don't have any other bomber jackets, though. I agree with you. What are there a destroy deck with Shag? Every deck's a Shag deck, gamers. Score worth buying for keys. I think if you're a Mr. Negative or Pixie Enjoyer, he's a pretty solid card. I think the jury is still out on if he's generically good or not. So let's assume death is 10. She got double Cassandra Novad. They'd be going to 34. I'm currently at 24, and I could add 10 to the board. I think that means I'm dead, yeah? Yeah, and if they have Venom, or Kitty Bridge, yeah, it's gonna leave. Alright, we're gonna take this deck and throw it in the trash can where it belongs. Poor Sentry needs his 2 points back. Please, second dinner, I am on my hands and knees begging you. Let me opt out of emotes. 1000% of the time, I'm in a matchup and I hit some bad variants and I'm kind of not enjoying it, and then my opponent emotes and it makes me dislike Marvel Snap even more. Any small, nominal, positive experience the emotes ever generate is deeply and wholly offset by extra negative feelings it adds when I'm already feeling negative. They are almost always a needle when I'm already feeling kind of like, I'm not feeling this Marvel Snap right now.
Destiny will arrive.
Forgot we got a sweet new Kyera variant. It's probably best in slot. You should always just fire this off right away in this deck, yeah? If you're using 2 base art cards in one deck. No, I'm not. King's the only base art card here. So this is a Spotlight variant. A general reminder that if you're someone who's going to ask questions in my Twitch chat, you should be watching for me to respond to your messages via chat commands. If your comment is something like, "Hey Jeff, new card good." Jeff is new card good. I'm probably not going to answer that redundant question verbally. Alright, so I need to be winning here because we're losing the right. Yep. Why did Gore's power go down in hand? Because the odd reveal cards got turned into hosts.
The universe shall be set right.
I think you're supposed to snap at all Stones Opener in this deck. Super lucky here, actually, that hit the 1 and 3 to hit the king instead of hitting either of our stones we're about to draw. I think the absolute biggest miss about Deadpool's Diner is the fact that it is the most competitive mode Marvel Snap ever offers. And it's awkward when the only 3 ways to play the game in client are 3 different competitive modes. I think Marvel Snap has a problem of not having enough casual game modes. And that's why High Voltage was a really welcome addition to the client. Because High Voltage was a way to play that was truly casual. I saw someone else ask earlier about Glenn's comment on High Voltage saying that they felt it was too winner agnostic. I have mixed feelings about that because I think the fact that it was kind of winner agnostic is one of the better things about it. Saying Second Dinner hated High Voltage is going to get you a ban in my channel because what you're doing there is misrepresenting what was actually said for the sake of being mad. And people like you who are willing to misrepresent what was actually said for the sake of getting angry at Second Dinner are some of the worst freaking people I deal with on the internet. It happens to me personally all the time. People will take something I said out of context and warp it around so they can act pissed off at me. And it's incredibly frustrating when I see people do that to others.
Damn. Inevitable.
Yeah, what was actually said was they felt it was too winner agnostic and they wouldn't go that far in that direction again. Which is a very reasonable position to have. You can still have someone care slightly more about winning and still have it be pretty freaking casual. Feel like we're in a pretty good spot here. I've got Gore, I've got Thanos, I've got Kyera for next turn. Got the armor on the left. Gore's animation are so tops. They're so good. Yeah, and they know we have the 20 power Thanos. I was gonna put Kyera here and put Thanos in the center. One of the things that's incredibly frustrating to me about the discourse that happens in games around Marvel Snap, especially with the economy, is that whenever I post anything being fairly and levelly critical of the things that deserve to be criticized in the Marvel Snap economy, I have a ton of people who post comments and responses that are just not remotely based in reality. Good clean example of this. When I posted my video talking about the series drops problem that Marvel Snap definitely has, I've lost track of the number of comments on that video claiming that Marvel Snap cards cost $100 or are sold for $100 each. And that's just not true. Marvel Snap cards are expensive, and it's fair to criticize them for being expensive, but the actual price anchor for a Marvel Snap card is 50 USD at most for a card. And if you want to actually be reasonable, not all of them are $50. The last one is $50, the season pass one is $10, and the first one you get for free. So there's, as is often the case, a range of nuance into the discussion. Mobius turning off our Fastos to scout is big sad. Do I do this actually so I can misery and then draw next turn, I think is the play. Gosh, if we hadn't been Mobius, this draw would be so sweet. Just like average Marvel Snap experience. If there hadn't been a brutal tech card, I'd have gotten to do something interesting. Statistically, we would have had a bunch of free stones plus a gore this turn, yeah? Oh, I guess not, actually. Would have had one free stone.
Clear for takeoff.
Let's ever win the game. This is 16, 19, 16 to 20 here. Do you think they ever compete in the center? Yes, I think the misrepresentation of they sell cards for $100 comes from the fact that there are $100 bundles that have cards in them. Not the reality of what actually gets charged for them. I haven't done verdict videos for cards in a very long time because people don't click on or watch them. We have a verdict command because that takes me 30 seconds. Put any other quick turnaround time verdict videos. There's a lot of work for something that basically loses me money once I was paying the editor.
Destiny will arrive.
Leveled, reasonable takes don't perform well on YouTube. Platform's a atrocious dumpster fire that only rewards sensationalism and bullshit. Absolutely despise it. It's actually funny, moving into doing some Pocket content and looking at different Pocket YouTube videos. Marvel Snap is actually incredibly tame in comparison to Pokemon. I like how I can sit here and I can say the words, the first card is free, the second one is $10, and the very last one is $50. And then someone can unironically comment in my chat, so cards in Marvel Snap cost the same as a AAA video game. Like, truly, you are some of the dumbest MFers on the planet. If you could hear me say that line and then come into my chat and type those freaking words. It's difficult for me to put into words how frustratingly stupid you are. I think playing Marvel Snap without locations is very silly, and the locations are a big part of what makes Marvel Snap good. I think Marvel Snap with no location variants would be very dry and sad. I also think, and I've talked about this at length before, I think the comparison of microtransactions in a game like Marvel Snap to a AAA game are intellectually dishonest at their core. What do I mean by that? Well, let's give an example. A lot of AAA games that I'll pay $70 for, I'll play for somewhere between 15 and 30 hours for their story. And then I'll be done playing them, and I'll never play them again. And that's okay. I feel like I got an okay amount of value out of my $70 purchase for 30 hours. But the same people who are fine spending $70 on a 30-hour experience balk at the idea of spending $70 on Marvel Snap, a game that they've put hundreds of hours into. And it's fine if you don't want to spend money on something you've spent hundreds of hours on in the literal sense. But the idea that it's a one-to-one comparison that's reasonable is intellectually dishonest. Especially when you consider the fact that there's probably a lot of games that you've bought on discount that you've literally never freaking played in your life. Again, you should spend your money and time on things that bring you joy. And I'm not here to tell you you shouldn't like what you like, but let's be honest about what it is and what the comparisons are. The this is one-to-one and this costs money while ignoring the details. Oh, I should reality stone middle technically. Yeah, that's a good call. We win the raid by a little bit, yeah? Ah! Thanks, Tuba. Thanks, Tuba.
Victory.
He's only 13 here, chat. I don't know. Unironically, there are a bunch of people telling me they needed to nerf this card yesterday. And those are also some of the most frustrating people in existence. Card was out for 30 minutes, and we had a couple of screenshots of it being 20 power, and people were losing their ever-loving minds.
The universe shall be set right.
And that's the hard part, right? Like I was in Mogwai's stream the other day, and he was beating himself off, talking about how he was always critical of the Marvel Snap economy and how people were coming around and it was popular to bag on Marvel Snap and talk about how it had problems now. And it's like, bud, I've always been critical of the things that deserve to be critical. But also just like didn't needlessly complain about things that weren't true like you. He was what? I said what I said. You heard me. I was gonna leave. They're playing Aeroshim. I'll be happier not playing this match.
Escaped.
I could fill the right and be cute, but I'd rather just not play against Aeroshim. I'll be happier that way.
The universe shall be set right.
Rewarded for playing time zone on one. Thank you, Piggy. It's a shame we can't misery the stone now. You know, my PS5, gaming PC, and Snap, I've spent more time and money on Snap. Yep. Yep. Whoo! Ooh, that's a fun one. That's a fun one. We're hoping to draw some more stones here so we can, play them out. Rip. Yeah, I wanted to misery this turn, but I'm kind of out of hand space. Yeah, is the problem? It's a damn shame the Thanos got pegged, because I can't make him cheaper now with this, which would be really great. Am I getting rid of this? With the misery... With the misery, I think I actually want the extra turn. So. So, the reason why Second Dinner... It's very easy to be like, oh, Second Dinner should just give you infinite 8. Well, that's an insane reality stone for us. That one's less good, but... It's easy to be like, Second Dinner should just, like, give us perfect agency of cards, and you should be able to, like, get exactly the cards you want. But I think it's also important to acknowledge that, like, one of the things they're definitely concerned about is people becoming functionally complete. What do I mean by that? I mean, if you're only halfway through Series 3, but you have every single Series 3 card you could want, you no longer care about getting more Series 3 cards. And I think that's the big thing they're worried about having happen, is they very clearly want people chasing Series 3 stuff, so they don't want them to have all of them right away. It's not even strictly about monetization. It's about people's desire to log in and play. It's about human behavior. The catch-22 that these games have is that players simultaneously want to have all of the game pieces, while also simultaneously wanting to have meaningful things to play games to get. Is the kind of impossible... I think we're dead. They're playing our Pixie highlight from the other night, and I think their deck's just better than ours. I'm gonna be a fish and limp in. So there's this give and take where players say they want all of the cards, but also if you give them all of the cards, they play the game less. So you say you want this thing, but in reality, the way you behave says that giving you this thing that you say you want is actually bad for Second Dinner. Because if they give you the thing you want, you're going to play the game a whole lot less. Of course, supposed to leave, but I just want to see a game play out. Oh, I could have counted they had a D-Man. I could not have counted that they would have a Patriot.
Power must be controlled.
We have died. I should have put Power Stone in the middle to beat the demons we knew they had, but we would have lost anyways because they had a Hub Patriot. So, I made a mistake, but even if we play that right, I'm 0% to win. Lord Miller Gaming, thank you for the 81-month resubscription. It's a long time. Welcome back.
Destiny will arrive.
Or the Goliath of Spotlight variant? I actually don't know the answer to that question. Anybody in chat know? Do you think more ways to attain variants will help? I'm complete in pocket, but chasing full arts has kept me motivated. Chasing variant art doesn't do it for most people. They want meaningful, functional game pieces only. Is the reality. Snap does a very good job of loading up game pieces or variants. And players have consistently shown they largely don't care, and they're not worth nearly as much to them as actual game pieces are. $14 in the middle, not great, but not terrible. Love turns 3 and 4 to put cards there. We can win it realistically. Just do this, yeah? And we're done.
Victory.
I mean, that's kind of my other point, too. What Thomas is saying in chat there. Is people are like, oh, they shouldn't monetize the cards are too expensive. But also, like, you're saying the cosmetics are too expensive, too. I don't think... I've literally never played a live service game where people weren't like, they shouldn't monetize game pieces, they should monetize cosmetics. But then when the company monetizes the cosmetics, the community's also like, oh, the cosmetics are too expensive. What people actually mean is they should monetize things I don't want to buy, and the things I do want to buy should be given to me for free. Do you think the unique card system is successful? I think from a game design standpoint, I absolutely love that Marvel Snap is singleton cards and there aren't bulk bad cards and they try to make every card matter. I think objectively, from a psychology player perspective, I think Marvel Snap's approach to cards is a failure. I think it's really apparent from the way people react that Marvel Snap having individual cards and not having chaff is worse from a perception problem than just putting a bunch of bad cards and giving people a bunch of bad cards. There is a reason why every other game has always filled booster packs full of garbage. And I wish it wasn't the case, but I think community perception around Marvel Snap would be better if they had a bunch of bad bulk cards in their packs like other card games do. And it makes me sad that that's the case. I wish that wasn't the case. But I would bet money that perception around Marvel Snap would be better if They just gave you a high number of cards. You wouldn't have the constant, cards are $50 each. It would be, no, cards would be cheap like they are in Pokemon Pocket, but most of them would be worthless and you wouldn't care about getting them. Yeah, exactly. No one's complaining about the unplayable cards in Pocket. They just accept that, like, unplayable cards is how the game works. Woo! Marvel Snap! One big purple fart!
Victory.
This is the way we play the game, play the game, play the game. Alright, I'm not feeling totally and completely embarrassed while playing this deck, so we're going to take an ad break, and then we're going to play some more of it when we return. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. Don't go anywhere. And again, I'm gonna say this as someone who's really enjoying Pocket, and who's someone who thinks Pocket's economy is mostly fine. And when they implement trading, if they implement it right, it will be completely fine. But right now, Pokemon Pocket's economy, if you're unlucky, is ridiculously expensive. It takes 100 booster packs to craft a single EX Pokemon in Pokemon Pocket. And packs are $1 a piece. So, and you need 2 copies of almost every EX to play it. You need a play set. So if you brick on opening the EX you want, it'll take you $200 to buy 2 of them. And sure, you could say, well, just don't be unlucky. But there's gonna be people that are gonna be unlucky and they're not gonna open the cards they want. And then it's incredibly expensive to get the specific ones they want. And maybe trading's gonna implement in a way that's gonna make that not a big deal. But as of right now, yeah, it's like, but he made me huge eye roll when Mongai was talking about snap cards being $50 a pop, when that's currently the case in Pocket. Like, you don't roll the EX you want, it costs you $100. And again, I don't think that means Pocket's unplayable or terrible or it needs to be burned to the ground or canceled or whatever, but it's just like, let's acknowledge that that's the reality there right now. If I was a gambling man, and I sit here playing Marvel Snap, so it's very clear I'm a gambling man, I would bet significant amounts of money that when I sit down 6 months to a year from now and we know what Pokemon Pocket's release cycle is going to look like, I will bet significant amounts of money it'll cost me more money to have collection complete in Pokemon Pocket on day 1 than it costs to be collection complete in Marvel Snap on day 1. And again, that's not to say that Marvel Snap is perfect or shouldn't improve. It's got issues. I've talked about its issues on the YouTube side very recently. But Marvel Snap's biggest issue is that it has a feels bad problem more than it has an actual price point problem. As someone who has spent thousands of dollars on more card games than I can count on one hand, approaching double digits, the number of digital card games I've spent $1,000+ on at this point. Marvel Snap in its current state is actually the literal cheapest to keep up with when it comes to being an endgame player. Virtual, thank you for the 7 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. As an easy off-the-cuff point of reference, because I played a ton of it for a long time. It cost me between $2,000 and $3,000 per year in Magic Arena just to get cards. It's for no cosmetics. Because again, I'm aware I've spent way more than that on Snap in cosmetics. And that was just to keep up. It was like $2 to $3 grand a year. And that was before they started releasing more stuff. Magic Arena actually releases more cards today than they were releasing back then, so the price is higher now. Oh, why are you not one bigger, Cassandra Nova? Although I guess if I shanked her now, she would come back in the valley, which wouldn't be good for me. But I do spend a lot on cosmetics this game. Marvel Snap is very good at monetizing cosmetics. They've done a good job of it. Ah, I should probably leave, but I want to stab a fish. Glub glub.
I am Iron Man.
My favorite gore pot. I really like the pixie deck I highlighted yesterday. It's been my favorite so far. Okay, so when Shang reveals, the gore is bigger, yeah? And then I'm adding 4 to my gore up to 17. I'm going to 20 here. And they're losing. So I need them to play 1 on reveal for me to win this. I guess if well, obviously we shouldn't do it that way. I guess I should put the armor here so that way, if they don't play any on reveals, I still win.
Power must be controlled.
Shang makes score bigger, yeah. Before he tries to shake. Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna try and move on from the economy talk, because it is endless, and I think it gets tedious when it's endless, so we're playing some games here too. But it was really eye-roll inducing to me when I talked about Marvel Snap having a new player problem and a returning player problem. The comments on my video were simply half or more of the people were just like, but what about me, the endgame player? Why don't I get everything for free? And it's just, if you're someone who thinks Marvel Snap is ever going to give you every single card on release for free, you should stop playing and move on, because that's just never going to happen. They've been very clear that that is not a business model that will lead them to success. Which is why that was very much not what I suggested in my video talking about the problem with returning and new player experiences. Yeah, as a content creator who likes Marvel Snap, I talked about it because I want the game to be good. I don't want more stuff for cheaper for me. I want it to be easier for new people. I want someone to say, hey, Jeff, I like card games. Should I play Marvel Snap? I want my answer to be, yeah, Marvel Snap's sweet. You should play it. Not, Marvel Snap's kind of sweet, but it's miserable to get into. Maybe consider Pokemon Pocket. That's what I want. I want to feel good recommending the game to a friend. I want someone to ask me the question, hey Jeff, should I get into Marvel Snap? Is it good? And I want to be able to give them, say, yeah, it's good to get into it, this is how you get into it. But Pokemon Pocket is incredibly dull. Unironically, Marvel Snap players have no self-awareness and memory of history because literally every single comment like that, Pokemon Pocket is dull, are identical comments that egotistical, elitist, dickhead Magic players made about Marvel Snap when I first started playing Marvel Snap. It's fine to be like, subjectively, I don't like this, and the game doesn't generate gameplay I enjoy, and that's fine. Pokemon Pocket is a more traditional card game that is very different gameplay than Marvel Snap. And it's very reasonable and fine to enjoy Marvel Snap more. It's not a remotely unreasonable position to have. What is completely unreasonable is being like, no, it's worse. They're very different. Am I drawing with Black Swan this turn? I think I am. Or activate Black Swan so I can play my stones out next turn. You could play both, but you also it's fine to not enjoy both. The type of gameplay Pocket generates very different from Snap. And I think it's very reasonable to be like, yeah, I like Snap, and Pocket just doesn't do it for me because it's different. There's nothing wrong with that. That the very tribalism, if I don't like thing objectively bad, as opposed to I don't like thing, it's for someone else, not me, is the thing that always gets me. You don't have to drop your pants and take a dump on it. It's not necessary. You tried Gore in Bounce yet? I haven't. I don't envision Gore solving problems that the Bounce deck has. And one of the big problems that Gore has in Bounce is that Gore is a 6-drop in Bounce that dies to Killmonger. Which I think is actually the biggest issue with it in Bounce. I really don't want to play a 6-drop in Bounce that loses to Killmonger. Mild Juice, thanks for the Prime. I appreciate that support. And for the regulars here, by the way, talking about enjoying Pocket and Snap, we're going to be back to doing Snap and Pocket daily here on stream, splitting our time about 50-50. My Isma plan. I was watching a video with Cozy and Alex, and they were crapping on the art of Pokemon cards. I think it's weird that they're defensive when people feel their beloved game is challenged or potentially outshined by another. Yeah. Very, very cringe. Like I love the full art Pokemon cards. I think they look stellar. Do I snap them here? I think I'm supposed to snap them here and push the Bob out of the center, yeah, before they can fill left and right. This is a tactical snap for the purposes of getting rid of Hydration Robert and moving him out. There's no way they can add stats to the center, right? Not 11. I think that is a great articulation of Snap. One of the big draws of Snap is locations. That each game feels different from the previous ones. That is exactly right. When you experience a game of Marvel Snap, there's a good chance you won't experience a game exactly like that for the next thousands of games that you play because of how the combination of location variance plays out.
Victory.
And in turn, the fact that Marvel Snap chooses to load a lot of its variants into its locations means that it's able for the decks to be very consistent. So when you build a deck and make choices in which cards go in your deck, they're going to happen very consistently. Yes, it's also why hot location days feel like a miss, because they're very same Z. Exactly that. I've talked about that. I think one of the biggest changes they should make is that Central Park, Savage Lands, and the Ninja location should all be less common. Space Stone lets me put Thanos into Sanctum, so I think I'm gonna stay further snappier. Yeah, Rude Mansion too. Rude Mansion, low key chat, Rude Mansion is one of the worst locations in Marvel Snap. It both puts crap in your hand and it puts crap. It both puts crap in your hand and puts crap on your board. Actual stone cold bratwurst location of the game. You haven't played Conquest in a bit. I assume it's because it's too saturated there, so that is exactly why. Do I do this? And then, like, Thanos here? Part of me wants to just Mockingbird here, and then Thanos, then we can end on Goliath is probably the play. Putting 2 cards here is bad if they acid arrow me. Wait, did they just misery their basic arrow?
All systems go.
Is Goliath mid good enough? This only puts me to 16 here is the problem. I think it's this. I think it's this.
Victory.
I think they have to play for the center every time, and then they can't beat our stats over on the right. We would have also won with Elias center there, is noteworthy. Elias mid would not have lost. It would have made Malekith not get a card.
Destiny will arrive.
Ah, yes. I mailed my Samsung Z Fold 4 in for repair, and I just got a message letting me know that it had been received, and I clicked on the service ticket number that was a hyperlink and was directed to a 404 not found page. I genuinely cannot believe Samsung Android devices are popular. It's my first one I have ever owned, and it will certainly be the last. Actually just an atrocious experience top to bottom. As someone who had only owned non-Samsung Android devices for the last 2 decades, I was always a little annoyed and frustrated at the bad rap Android gets in general. But holy, I understand the rap that Android has, given that Samsung is one of the most popular Android makers. Like, it makes complete and total sense. Guess I'm doing this, but I'm gonna book a draw, which is sad. I did end up going with the OnePlus folding phone. It's been a very reasonable piece of hardware so far. If I do this, I can technically Mockingbird and Shag next turn, yeah.
Opponent snapped.
If you're supposed to leave, we're gonna not have priority, and they're gonna have some big buffed up cards. I'd have let them do their thing if they hadn't stabbed me, but I think we're likely to die here.
The universe shall be set right.
You should always Reality Stone last, just in case it hits, like, Lamaria. Or something that could jack you up. Play Danger Room Savages this vulture. Thank you, bro. Appreciate the assist.
Victory. Destiny will arrive.
No, as someone who's had a foldable for the last 2 years, 2+ years, I don't think I'll ever have a not foldable phone again. The form factor is super convenient. I'm really glad other people, not Samsung, are making them, because I also don't think I'll ever buy a Samsung again because the software on my Samsung foldable was atrocious. But none of my issues with my Z Fold were related to the actual hardware. Like Samsung's got a lot of bloatware. Yeah, it's not great. This, and then will Misery here on 5 is the plan. Why is this game mostly negative in Steam? Reddit is the answer to that question, yes. I think we're dead. Play center.
Power must be controlled.
Nah, they have Ebony Blade plus a cheap thing. And one more stone for the middle. Yes, Misery still triggers the unrevealed shows and blow them up. That's exactly correct.
The universe shall be set right.
Atiri's been good here. What's his name? Gore's been kind of mediocre. I feel like Gore's stat line hasn't been big enough to be worth playing in a lot of these games. I was kind of hoping to draw a 1 energy stone that drew a card so he could Misery the center. Recommended standing disc maker. Yeah, Flex-a-Spot is the one I've been using for the last couple of years. One of our stream partners. They're having a sale right now. Check them out on Amazon. Big torch, gamers. Big torch. Activate Mockingbird so we can play out any stones we draw next turn. You think they're bouncing the center here? I think standing desks are great for anybody that's spending a lot of time in their chair. I think we do this, and then we just retreat when they beast or toxin or whatever the center. They ended on vulture, so maybe they're gonna pull this somewhere. And our Shang Brain can get us something profitable going. Interesting. That's probably a win for us? Question mark.
Must be controlled.
Yeah, we're beating Hugdell.
Victory.
Tech cards, baby, tech cards, yeah. Which fine. King of Tiri seems like he's an easy staple inside of Thanos moving forward. Lets you go ahead and basically have an extra Infinity Stone that fills out your spaces okay. Gore was pretty whelming. He had like a hulkish stat line a couple of times, but we were not consistently making him very large. Misery clearing our other, what's it called? Not stellar. Our stats overall with the deck were fine. I think the Thanos Misery core is reasonable and King added value. Alliance and Shang-Chi are very good push busted Marvel stat cards that'll get you a lot of wins regardless of what everything else looks like, so you know. Let's roll some Twitch ads. I'm gonna dig through some untapped stats on Gore and look for another deck to play. We've been doing Marvel stat for a little while yet this morning before we switch on over to Pocket. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Don't go anywhere. Mask! Thank you for the 32 months. Hot Carl coming in hot for the 20. Ravona does discount. What's his name? Hey, look at that, chat. Might take away that Pixie Gore was the best way to play it. Looking like it might be the case. Better than negative, that's for sure. Negative still felt pretty negative. It's just like Gore good stuff. What a difference between these two, huh? Close but not the same. What's the difference? We got a US agent. This is playing a Baron Zemo package. What are the cards that released this month? By the way, it's Gore, Suitor, Fenris, Malekith. Who else? Riga. I saw some typical YouTube clickbait calling Gore the best card to release in November. And I think I'd be very surprised if it ends up playing out that way. One of these two is almost assuredly. I think Suitor's probably it. He creates a new deck. Malekith's just a generic good stuff card. Probably goes fine. Yeah, he's just a good rate card, right? Like his numbers are good. I don't think it's super surprised that Malekith is high. He's like a 410 to 412 that also offers you some utility. He's just like, he's not exciting to write home about, but it's just like, yeah, he's reasonable. Oh yeah, King of Tiri released this month. I think they're probably bad, I bet. Oh yeah, super bad. Worst card of the month. Easy. In his defense, I think he mostly goes in decks that are terrible, like Thanos though, so. This is adorable. Ghost Rider Gore? Ghost Rider with only one target seems real narrow though. This was a more all-in build. It was like Gore good stuff, basically. There ain't Wicked Gore decks with reasonable, and I could take the existing good Wicked deck from my last best decks right up and shove Gore into it as a 6 easy peasy. Oh, speaking of standing desks, stand up for a little bit. Sit for an hour. What are my thoughts on next season's card? You can find those here. That's actually a really good take from chat.
Opponent snapped.
I just want to Baron them, have my cube. The best card from November has to be Suitor. They already nerfed it. I don't think they're going to nerf any of the others. Even post-nerf, it's probably the best, but... What a useless acid arrow. Nope, they're mine. You can't have them. They're my lovelies. Go away. Wait, did they just make a play that leaves them losing the center? Math, not even once. Yep.
Victory.
Got him. Score was 19 there. Lovely boy. I feel like he's got to be breaking 15 consistently in a deck to be a consideration. Pixie deck I highlighted last night on my YouTube channel is currently the best performing Gore deck up on Untapped because my brain is huge and I am one of the best deck builders in Marvel Snap. Also one of the most humble.
Escaped.
Unsurprisingly, Mr. Negative is still performing poorly despite all of the various clickbait you will see about it on YouTube today. You missed the Gore Pixie deck? Should check my daily deck uploads on YouTube. YouTube.com/Jeff Oakland. Sweet off-meta Marvel Snap deck, 7 days a week.
Opponent snapped.
He's not a new player, but lower collection level. 2000's a pretty hefty one. I guess if they're spending, they could be newer. But if they're free to play, that account's several months old. What are the odds this wins the left? Oh no! They win it on the left! We might be dead, gamers. They're gonna activate the Symbiote Spider-Man too. No! Disaster. closer. Missed it by 1. I don't what if I would have moved the Nightcrawler over. Isn't Legion Monster Island, is that even good?
Escaped.
The neat build of Wong Namora. The Bio Spider-Man's an interesting consideration. The amount of non-gold cards in this deck is shameful. We do have a quarter of the deck non-gold, that's true. It's a lot. I'm not even 700 gold variant complete right now, chat. I don't even know why you people are watching this stream. I spend my last 6,000 tokens on Gore, only if you really enjoy playing Mr. Negative. Despite him not being good. Probably dead. I just want to see it play out. Gore is a fun card, not a good card. The stats on Gore so far are not very good, gamers. All of the YouTube channels telling you he's crazy are clickbaiting you. I forgot Hydra Bob was gonna come back. That's funny. I don't think they can trigger Suitor twice, so I think we're good. Snapping would be really bad. It would move my bomb. Out.
Victory.
All I want you to know is the reason why people on YouTube constantly sensationalize cards and tell you they're better than they are is because you keep watching their stuff. I stopped posting my calm leveled takes into form of edited content because nobody wants to click on that stuff. They all want to be lied to. Platform's a cesspool. Best non-negative Gordak. I don't even think you need the non-negative prefix. The negative next to have average, negative, mediocre stats. The best performing Gore deck on the tracker as of right now is the Pixie deck we posted. Yesterday. Is that Airship Black Swan? Is a gold Airship Enjoyer? Am I punching the dog? I think I'm punching the dog. Just to mitigate whatever hellscape this is gonna create. Did Coulson create Devil Dino? It's cheating. Mom, get the camera! We did the thing! Mom! Camera! My body's ready to still lose to a gladiator Deadpool. Snap and put everything left mid. Nah, I don't want to get Goliath in the middle and lose. Oh, does Luke make Gore smaller? He totally does, doesn't he? Because this is buffed? Okay, yeah, so this is the line then. That's actually a funny slash good call out. Alright, Gladiator, please pick something you can murder, bud. Well, I mean, wish granted. We're good, yeah? Oh, I guess Luke doesn't make him smaller, it just doesn't make him bigger. Yeah, Luke doesn't add a penalty back. Zero, it wouldn't put him back to -1. But Cable's still correct because it's an odd reveal that makes him bigger. It's a good call out of the technicality. It's not that Luke reduced him, it's just that he doesn't explicitly pump him. By the way, to the regulars just joining us, if you didn't see it in the title, I posted my quarterly Series 4-5 tier list on the YouTube channel. It's probably the highest effort piece of edited Marvel Snap content I still do quarterly. I would appreciate engagement for people if you're into that sort of thing to let me know we should keep doing it. Above average. Black Vortex. Gore is still in the deck. Let's slam this anti-venom. Easy game, video gamers. Easy game. I think I'm just gonna play Gore out so he doesn't get pulled into the middle at random. Could have gotten an upgrade. Rip. Ooh, this means they don't get a free Black Vortex, which is a big deal. So the right Grand Central triggers, the left one does not. All right, we really want to draw Luke Cage here. This Twitch stream is pre-recorded in front of a live audience. I appreciate everybody watching here every single day. Please cue the laugh track. Can you believe how overpowered Gore is? Why would Second Dinner release a 49% win rate card? Completely unfair and unreasonable. I followed this channel, Jeff, to let you know how unreasonable Gore is. Can you believe they have the audacity to release a card that might be playable? The only two types of Marvel Snap cards in existence. Unplayable and busted, please nerf. Again, really, if you're consuming content that's telling you Gore is too strong, you should remove that content from your content diet. These are unreasonable people that are trying to work you up into a frenzy and bait your clicks. The Hoaglandia Snap channel has that and stuff like the tier list still. Tier lists, weekly deck roundups, and some other stuff. The Jeff Hoagland channel is just live streams and daily deck highlights. Twitch drops ended on Monday. We do not currently have information about the next round of drops. Give me that and kind of. Being outraged feels so much better than being reasonable. It's true. It's true, gamers. That's why they get you worked up. It's not a great anti-venom hits in the deck yet, right now. No, Spotlight Cash cards all release at higher series. What's the US agent? Lovely. Put these over here, and then we plan to Gore over here, probably. Silver, Samurai, Gore, Ghost Rider. Yeah, I could buy that for $1. Okay, so I'm at 9 and they're at -1, so I'm plus 10 in the middle, I'm plus 6 here, and then this is at least 11 here. I think we spread and play for all of them. David, thank you for the 15 months. Appreciate that. Welcome back. No, I'm not really interested in playing another deck today. We're going to play this deck out, and then we're going to be switching over to Pocket Dance.
Victory.
Shiba opponent has left. Always satisfying. King Atiri does not appear to be a particularly competitive card. We'll be playing Pokemon after this deck today, Tan. We'll be doing Marvel Snap first today and Friday, and I'll be off tomorrow. We'll be doing Marvel Snap and Pocket every day moving forward until Pocket gets a new set release or Snap has Twitch drops. One of those two. Either of those will have me focusing on one over the other. Do I snap here to pull the Bob out? This is on both I'm filling the raft and moving the Bob snap.
I want the throne.
What do we think? Is this too Legion Braid?
Doom rules all.
How are we feeling about Gore so far? He's fine. There's a bunch of people asking for him to be nerfed, so at the very least he's playable. Unsurprisingly, Mr. Negative looks like it's still bad. They have a tech card for Luke Cage is a question. Well, Agent of Luke Path in case of Rogue. Nah, I think I'm good. Anti-Rogue me, I'm fine. Is Rogue the preferred tech card? Oh my god, I did it to myself. Oh, thanks, Shadow King. Gladiator, buddy old pal. What a true champion of the people. I'd like the record to reflect we were winning this game, even if Gladiator pulled something little thanks to their Shadow King. I would like the record to reflect we were winning in spite of this. But it made me feel better. I'm happier that it occurred. Oh my gosh, they could have gladiatored and then enchantressed us, yeah? That's funny. That'll hopefully be a lesson the opponent won't soon forget. Got about 1,200 people in here for some Snap this morning. That's probably about the norm for non-drop Snap moving forward, I'd wager. The opponent is collection level 1,600 gamers. They're just doing their best. $1,200 still feels like a huge drop. It is a huge drop. Kiwi, thank you for the 15 months. Shadow King licking his lips. We'll see. The number that matters a whole lot more than viewer count is what do the Twitch subscriber metrics look like, and Twitch sub count's actually been relatively stable still. The dedicated folks who support me directly are still here and coming back regardless of how Snap is. Ooh, is 22 enough to win the left? Probably, yeah. For reference, we averaged like 2,600 average concurrent subscribers through Marvel Snap's 2 big years, and I currently have 2,500 concurrent subscribers on the Twitch side, so we're nowhere near halved in terms of that, even if the viewer count's about half. The Green Ranger, thank you for the 2 years. Appreciate it. Late Night Snap Dad, thank you for the 26 months. At what subscriber count does Twitch streaming start to become feasible as a full-time job? So that's a complicated question because I don't know offhand where my Prime subs exactly come from. So like Prime subs range from 9 cents a subscriber to 2.25 a subscriber. And then paid subs vary based on what currency the person's buying them in as well. Obviously, I exist under late-stage capitalism, so more is always better. But, like, the last 2 years were my 2 best years back-to-back on Twitch as a platform ever, making around 250,000 each of those years. And realistically, I could probably even make half to 2/3 of that and still be very comfortable with where I live in Central Illinois. My cost of living is not terrible here. My wife is a business professional whose job provides health insurance for our family, so we don't depend on my income for that type of stuff. Yes. I took my second year in review income video down on YouTube because I put a political message at the start of it, and after the election I was called lots of slurs and wonderful other things in the comment section by folks brigading it, so decided that was not worth experiencing further. I kind of want a boomer snap here, because moving Hydra Bob to the right makes us more likely to win. So this snap isn't good from like a snap game theory standpoint, but from a I want Bob to move to the right, it's great. And this is Luke Cage, by the way, so this is going to be worth 5 points. Will the video come back without that message? It will not, because reposting a video I've already posted on the YouTube side means the metrics are bad, and the metrics already weren't very good on that video. Which was just a little disappointing, so it was a lot of work to put together. Got him. Got him.
Victory.
Very good, regardless of which way Bobby Boy went, yeah. Alright, we need to take a brief, speaking of money, we gotta take a brief pause for the cause and roll some ads on the Twitch side. We're gonna play some more of this when we return. It's been really solid, just gore, good stuff. Thanks for hanging out, don't go anywhere. One thing I am slightly concerned about looking at this deck list is that it does have 2 Series 3 cards in it and 1 Series 2 card. Can anybody think of reasonable Series 4 or 5 replacements for these to make the deck a little bit less accessible? I'm worried if I post the deck like it is now, people are going to be able to play it too easily. Unironically, Valentina might be better than Cable. Unironically, Valentina might be better than Cable. I was just cracking a joke, but there's a very good chance that Valentina's an upgrade over Cable in our Luke Cage Shadow King deck. Cable has like some loose synergy with Baron Zebo, but no, I'm gonna do this for our second part. See how it goes. Yeah, we already have Luke Cage Shadow King. Anti-Venom is a pretty good card. I rated Anti-Venom very highly in today's tier list for a reason. It plays in a lot of stuff and is very unique. Anti-Venom Luke Cage Shadow King is like a 3-card package you could shove in a lot of spots and win a ton of games. K Dilla, thank you for the 15 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. And unironically, if you skipped on this week and you have a good number of cards, I think this is one of the better cards you could probably spend tokens on. Yeah, Hero, genuinely, Snap is a good digital card game. And I really hope they are going to meaningfully address the new player onboarding to get them integrated into the Snap ecosystem better and more cleanly, so I can like feel like I can truthfully recommend to be like, yes, you will have fun playing Marvel Snap as a new player. It's worth getting into. Ooh, immediately rewarded with a piece of candy for this one, huh? Gladiator's dangerous in this matchup. I don't think I can play him out.
Opponent snapped.
This is, I have Wicked Snap. I'm gonna stay, because I have, like, US Agent and stuff here, I think. The Red Hulk's not bad, too. Oh, they're also a Luke Cage deck? Yeah, that's fair. Give me their Luke! Huh. I have to play Luke on one of these turns is the thing. I think. Well, that's not a Wiccan. Where do they play this stupid acid arrow? I think it's middle. It's middle or nowhere, I think. I don't have priority here. That's the issue. Thank you, Dr. Mr. Putty. I appreciate it. Felt super spooky. Running the timer down to the last possible second. Yeah, it plays really bad. Especially considering they could have, I don't know, maybe they're not ghosting. No, maybe they are. Because if they weren't ghosting, they literally could have grapple arrowed either of these and then acid arrowed here to pull it in, right? So like the only theory is like maybe they're just terrible. They could just be atrocious at the game and not have understood how grapple arrow and acid arrow works. But no, they're a high collection level gamers. Why not both? Could be ghosting and bad. Yep, that's true. This just never wins the game, unfortunately.
Escaped.
I would recommend buying Nico Binaru over Silver Sable. That's why Nico Binaru is in the buy this category in the tier list video. Yeah, like Gladiator and then like Anti-Venom's on curve here, I think. My go-to for headsets or microphone. I am wearing a Bose Quiet Comfort QC45 headset. I don't think I would ever go back to a non-Bose headset. It's been far and away the best headset I've ever had. I'm using a Rode Procaster for my microphone. I mean, it's worth noting, Tessie, to be political for a moment. It's not even just content creators that have to consider healthcare considerations with the job that I do here. My wife and I just had enrollment for her health benefits for her job this year. And one of the things we had to consider is it worth paying $4,000 extra per year so we can have lower deductibles that have prescription drugs covered instead of paying for them out of pocket? And again, just to clarify for people that live in countries with developed socialized healthcare, that extra 4,000, not 4,000 total per year, extra 4,000. I don't even remember what the base cost is, but it's significant. Isn't even to use it, it's just to not go bankrupt in the event that something catastrophic happened to someone that I live with. Yeah, so it's basically like, is it, because paying the $4,000 more per year guaranteed is more worthwhile if we have even one medical incident happen, because it saves us on the co-pays for prescription drugs and other things. And I wanna emphasize that my position and my wife's position that we share is incredibly privileged in the United States. She works for a Fortune 50 company and has some of what's considered the best healthcare in my country that her insurance company, the insurance that her company provides for us is.
I am Iron Man. I am Iron Man.
I think capitalism is very fine and reasonable for a number of things. Superhero card games. Letting capitalism decide the winners and losers with superhero card games. That's great. That's fine. That's very reasonable. Who gets to live or die or afford life-saving medicine? Not a great use of capitalism. Not a stellar use. I'll come stay here for one. Got me. Oh, this is the Pixie Gore deck that we brewed last night. This is the best performing Gore deck on Untapped right now. The highlight on the Jeff Hoagland channel. Which is the last part. We were talking about my salary earlier during this set. I know when people in other countries hear $250,000, it's an absurd amount of money. And it's a lot of money for here in the United States, but like there's a lot of other costs we have that like bring that down a significant amount. Like next fall, for example, my youngest child will be 5 and she'll get to go to public school for kindergarten. That'll be like getting an $18,000 per year raise because I'll no longer be paying for early childhood education out of pocket because we don't fund early childhood education in the United States universally. And my $18,000 per year that I pay for childcare for my toddler is cheaper than people pay in San Francisco, Chicago, New York, Seattle, almost every major city in the country. This is a little bit of a risky gladiator. A lot of cable decks have big things in them, but go ahead and slam it in. I'm not gonna profess to be I'm not going to profess to be an expert in self-employed taxes. As of 3 years ago, I think it is, Hoaglandia LLC exists, and I am file taxes as a corporation. Right, base. I'm in Central Illinois. Like a mirror match, gamers. I think we're dead. Take a turn here if they don't snap and draw a card, but so we're moving next.
Opponent snapped. Escaped.
Jeff is the greedy CEO. He doesn't even pay his kids for appearances. Yep. Yeah, the cost of childcare isn't because the people running the centers are greedy. Like, it's, like, caring for children is not cheap. And a lot of it's gone up just because, like, the kids eat 2 meals and a snack at daycare every day. So they have to provide food, so, like, the cost of food going up has pushed those prices up, too. Well, now we'll hold Red Guardian for the Nexus. We'll just play Lucas in the center. Boo! Legion Brain! Alright, so... Fun fact. When you Legion the Nexus, the leftmost Nexus counts for the most. So we'll want to stack as many points as possible on the left here. Want to draw Malekith here. Gladiator, said. It's this. I think it's this.
Systems go.
I think it's just this, actually, yeah? Leave the Nexus right where it's at. This is the right play, but it also makes me sad. Yeah, that's fair. Kick their sandcastle 2 different ways. That's the reason why our deck is really good. Oh, remember what I said? Remember when I said the people telling you Gore was crazy were misleading you and clickbaiting you? This is Dara, and he's live with the stream title Gore is Cracked. I really appreciate Marvel Snap's resident Twitch grifter stepping up to the plate to exemplify our point.
Opponent snapped.
If we can have priority here, we get to Legion the Altar. Or not. Ooh, losing Luke is sad. Oh, he was gonna be our free card too. Rip. Of course Dara's chat is telling him cards that we have. He has cultivated a community full of dickheads who like things like him lying to people on his stream. You reap exactly what you sow. Creators who try and tell you you don't have a say in who your community is and how they behave, those are just people that want their communities to be shitty and want to escape culpability for it.
Escaped.
Dara told his community not to do that. Yeah, and I would have banned the person that did it in my chat. Because that's how you set the expectation not to do that type of stuff.
Breaking news.
Is hydration, Robert, worth the tokens, or should I save for future cards? You should get my thoughts on that in my Series 4-5 tier list today. Just posted, fresh off the press.
Wind, aid my hand.
So I know that this looks really bad for us, squad. But I would like for you to consider the Shadow King.
Opponent snapped.
How does Shadow King on 5-star? Wow, what a disaster. Actual train wreck scenario. All of the farty trombones, huh? It's fine, U.S. agents and all right draw, huh? Dara is someone who willfully misleads new people in his stream during drops when the category has the most people in it. And he regularly does things like Gore is cracked in his stream title that actively misleads people as well. Dara is not chill. He's a grifter. And that's fine if you like him, and that doesn't bother you, but I think those types of things matter. So that's fine. You can go watch the grifter. There was a VIP in Dara's chat saying they wanted to meet Jeff in real life so they could physically assault him. Again, you cultivate the community that you want around you. I think the people in chat saying Guest Gaming saying Gore is awesome. Awesome is not a strict description of power level. I think there's lots of cards that are awesome that aren't very good in Marvel Snap. What's a good example? Pixie's an awesome card. She's really sweet and has a novel effect. So no, you trying to say Guest Gaming is doing something equivalent is not a one-to-one. Awesome is super, wholesome's a great way to put it. Havoc is awesome. Agree, love Havoc. Super, super fun effect. Kang is not awesome. Stop it, bad. Oh, and then one of the people defending Dara after getting banned called my mod an ableist slur inside of DMs. Really, that's interesting. What an interesting take from that community that I wouldn't expect. Using ableist slurs in the DMs after they're upset for getting removed. I haven't discarded or destroyed anything. Yeah, I think we Shadow King here and play Gore in the center, call it a day. Sometimes that's gonna happen, gamers. This deck was alright. It's titled at Gore Good Stuff. It had alright stats on Untapped before we grabbed it. cube positive while being exactly middling on win rate. The old just under 50%er. I don't know. Gore seems fine. I think the people saying this card needs nerfs are especially silly. It's looking like it might be playable. The stats early indicate it's not gonna make Mr. Negative be cracked all of the sudden. And it seems best in some of these other, like, it was consistently, like, bigger than a red Hulk in this deck, which is probably all you need. It works well with anti-venom, which is nice. Is Gore the new Blob? I thought there was maybe potential for that before I played games with it, if I'm being honest, Eric. But after seeing it, it definitely seems more comparable to like a Null than a Blob, I think. Where like, you gotta kind of construct your deck around it. And even then, the ceiling on him is much lower than something like Null. This deck isn't just a final wrap up on this. This deck's incredibly inaccessible. It thoroughly highlights Marvel Snap's card acquisition pains. There aren't really clean replacements for a lot of the stuff it's doing. I think Anti-Venom's probably the most important, but if you're missing a bunch of stuff, you're probably just SOL and should play something else. Gore was consistently 40 power for 6 unreleased. Yeah, exactly that. All right, we're gonna be kicking over to Pocket Gamers. I'm going to be shutting down the stream on the Jeff Hoagland YouTube side and firing it up on the Hoaglandia Pocket side. We're going to switch categories here on Twitch. We'll be off tomorrow, but there will be deck highlights 7 days a week on the Jeff Hoagland channel. In fact, I'm going to hit publish on a deck highlight on the Jeff Hoagland channel right now when we sign off over there. Seeing how that feels when we post them right after. I'm gonna fire up on the Hoaglandia Pocket channel in a second.